slit throats. They're the most evil people you'll ever meet.
That's John Jones.
John Jones? And who am I speaking to? Are you John Jones?
What? If you're untraceable, my brothers, they kill people for way less.
In a dramatic turn, John Jones breaks his silence live, seemingly owning up to the chaos as new hit-and-run allegations spark outrage. Just hours after John Jones surprised fans with his retirement announcement, the former UFC heavyweight champion is once again in the spotlight, but not for his fighting skills. Body camera footage released by the Albuquerque Police Department reveals disturbing details from a crash investigation that occurred on February 21st, 2025.
Hey, where'd he go? Where'd he go from me? I have one of the drivers leaving the scene on foot, heading westbound on Lomas. Hey, they're gonna check you out, okay, man? She's over here. Oh, she has no pants. She said she has no pants.
No pants. Okay, that's fine. Can we ask what's going on?
According to the footage, Jones is accused of fleeing the scene of the accident and making alarming comments to a police aide. As the incident unfolds, a woman found at the scene, clearly intoxicated and partially undressed, claimed that Jones was the one driving.
Please talk to him. Please talk to him. This is a friend that's a friend of mine.
Hello, who am I speaking to?
What's your last name, first name?
Me is PSA Lopez. And who am I speaking to?
What's your name?
PSA Lopez? With the Albuquerque Police Department?
How many guys you guys all day with you?
Don't worry about that, man. Were you the one driving the vehicle?
This allegation quickly spiraled into a new wave of public and legal scrutiny for a man whose personal controversies have long shadowed his athletic achievements.
My brothers attacked the dreams of the sisters and cell phones.
He was the one driving the vehicle.
They slit throats. They're the most evil people you'll ever meet.
That's John Jones.
John Jones?
He was the one driving the vehicle.
But they don't waste their cases with just killing you on petty crimes. But they definitely listen to conversations like this, and some of them are bored enough.
The body camera footage and recordings of the phone calls are expected to be crucial in the ongoing investigation and legal proceedings against John Jones, as they may provide evidence regarding the events of the night of the crash.
And who am I speaking to? Are you John Jones?
What? If you're untraceable, my brothers, they kill people for way less. Sometimes she's gladly dead.
Yeah. Passenger stating that the subject, his name is John Jones, the fighter, and he was under the influence, bro.
The driver of the vehicle that fled is John Jones, the fighter.
I just got thrown over the phone.
PD to George 325.
I got thrown over the phone.
Right in the vehicle? What did he say?
Jones had been active on X, formerly known as Twitter, around the same time the video came out. He first posted a cryptic message that appeared to reference betrayal and personal growth, hinting at internal conflicts. Jones wrote on X, "One thing we all know about snakes, you let them hang around long enough, it's only a matter of time before you get bit. It's good to be real with the people that's known you for a long time, but sometimes it's okay to outgrow people. These are the reasons why." It seemed he intended to follow up the message, but no second post came. Instead, he later responded to a fan wishing him well in retirement, saying things were going really amazing aside from the silly lies and distractions. He went on to mention new ventures, proudly stating he had just become the owner of another company and had launched 2 businesses since retiring, painting a picture of a man moving forward despite the controversy. Jones wrote, "Thank you, so far it's going really amazing. Outside of the silly lies and distractions, just became owner of another company. I would say first year in the retirement's going pretty good. 2 new businesses in the books." Jones had been absent from the octagon for 7 months prior to his retirement, never fully committing to a much anticipated unification fight against rising star Tom Aspinall. Many speculated he was avoiding the matchup. However, Spanish UFC fighter Ilia Topuria, who's gearing up to face Charles Oliveira for the lightweight title at UFC 317 in Las Vegas, defended Jones publicly. Topuria stated that Jones, having fought the best in the world over the last decade, wasn't one to duck opponents. He praised Jones's career, calling him the greatest of all time and saying his decision to retire was well deserved.
John has done so many great things in the sport. He fought the best of the best in the last 10 years. So I don't think he's stucking anyone. You know, he just wants to retire. He's tired maybe of the game or whatever, and he wants to retire. I don't think he's stucking anyone, because you can find a guy always that, no, he's the next one, he's the next one, he's the next one. Even if he beats Tom Aspinall, there's gonna be someone new. So
despite these accolades, Jones's legal troubles continue to raise eyebrows. His attorney, Christopher Dodd, issued a firm denial of the crash allegations, claiming that Jones was not behind the wheel and wasn't even in the vehicle. According to Dodd, the woman who accused Jones of driving was attempting to avoid her own DWI arrest by fabricating the story. Still, police pressed charges. Jones now faces a misdemeanor for leaving the scene of an accident, with a bond arraignment scheduled for July 24th, 2025. This court date could prove critical for Jones's already shaky reputation. He said, "John was not driving that night, he wasn't in the car. It appears that an intoxicated woman used a false allegation against John to avoid being arrested for DWI drinking while intoxicated." This is not the first time the former champion has faced legal trouble. In fact, his history with law enforcement stretches back more than a decade. In 2012, he was convicted of driving under the influence after crashing into a telephone pole. The incident led to a fine and suspension of his driver's license. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be the last time he made headlines for off-the-cage misconduct.
Tough to see some of that and tough to hear some of it, obviously coming from body cam footage. But the woman in the car that is crashed, sitting in the passenger seat, is adamant that it is John Jones who she's talking about. The man on the phone is alleged to be John Jones, according to police.
And to her in the video saying this is John Jones.
And to her in the video as well. And then the police, when he's talking to his fellow policeman, saying that it is John Jones. And then you hear the threats talking kind of just like, I guess just like sort of just like mumbling through it, like my brothers have killed for less, everything like that. Just sort of an odd video that comes out, and this is something, obviously, the court of law is going to handle this. This is something that has happened to John Jones before.
A 2015 felony hit-and-run charge saw Jones leave the scene of an accident that injured a pregnant woman. Over the years, he's also been hit with charges ranging from battery and multiple DWIs to a domestic incident that led to felony charges in Las Vegas.
Yeah, just reiterating, currently charged, but again, alleged by the police department. And so we'll see what the end result of this is. Ultimately, whether it was John Jones, whether it was not John Jones. As you said earlier, his lawyer adamant that he was not involved in this. Again, they do not have him at the scene. They said they saw a male fleeing. They don't know who it was. And so all we have is this body cam footage. We have her witness testimony, and if it is John Jones that ultimately was the driver of this car, just another unfortunate example of what John has been doing throughout his entire run in the public eye.
These episodes have cost Jones more than just legal fees. He served probation, done community service, and faced suspensions from the UFC. The repeated nature of these incidents has led fans and analysts alike to question how much longer the UFC and the sport as a whole can tolerate this kind of behavior from its athletes.
But Still at the moment, just charges. So we'll see ultimately what this leads to.
Yeah, and all we can do is just wait and see what happens in the court of law and whether or not he is convicted of.
Following the recent crash incident, reactions have poured in from all corners of the MMA community. While some fans are still clinging to the memory of his in-cage dominance, others express deep disappointment.
Can you tell us the timeline of John accepted the fight, went to Thailand, came back, didn't want the fight? What happened?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Thailand was the end of it. You know, we were talking about it before that. But yeah, the fight was done. We had the fight done a long time ago. So why he decided not to fight, you guys laughed at.
Critics argue that this is part of a troubling cycle, and that Jones's continued troubles shouldn't be brushed off simply because of his legacy in the sport. Many believe his actions outside the octagon now weigh more heavily than his accomplishments within it.
I saw it today. When I saw it today, I said, oh, everybody's gonna think this is why he retired. Maybe that is why he retired. Who the hell knows, man? But yeah, I don't know. These are all questions you gotta ask him. Yeah. We had the fight done. You know, you saw me talking about it very confidently that this fight was gonna happen, and then he changed his mind.
Sports law experts have also weighed in, suggesting that this latest charge could have serious consequences for Jones's reputation. The timing, right after his retirement, raises questions about whether he's stepping away on his own terms or because the weight of his personal issues has finally caught up with him. Legal analysts predict that this case could influence how major fight promotions manage athlete behavior going forward. It may even result in stricter codes of conduct, especially if the court proceedings uncover more damning evidence.
Well, I guess the primary takeaway is I guess John Jones not gay if in the crashed vehicle you have a naked girl passed out in the car. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. So big night last night. I was out of commission doing some stuff last night, and so I couldn't do videos on either John Jones' retirement or, you know, the pretty big news over in the Middle East. And for once, sitting out for a little while ended up being a tremendous benefit to me because I would have just shot up and done videos and I would have had incredibly lacking context in both stories. Because I know exactly why John Jones retired, as I'm sure some of you guys, you know, maybe already know, and some of you are about to find out right now, because he didn't retire to duck Tom.
The potential fallout for Jones is massive. If found guilty, the repercussions could extend beyond the courtroom. His image, which has already taken hit after hit, might suffer irreversible damage. Fans who once saw him as an unbeatable champion could lose faith entirely, especially if more details from the crash emerge. Endorsement deals, sponsorships, and future business ventures might also be jeopardized. The release of body cam footage and other evidence will be closely watched, as it could ultimately decide whether the latest accusations against Jones are dismissed or solidified.
Your last fight, and I think this kind of hurts John Jones from this perspective. People want to see the fights that they want to see, and one of the things that the UFC had over that's why they've usurped boxing in a lot of people's eyes, because they give you the fights that you want to see when you want to see it. Dana White is willing to make this happen. Tom Aspinall is willing to make this happen. This ain't some promoter stopping this. This is the actual fighter who is universally recognized as one of, if not the greatest ever, that doesn't want to fight. How does this affect John Jones in the eyes of people in y'all mind?
I think that it affects him in this regard. People will always look at, well, you had that one opportunity, John, to be the older guy.
As the arraignment date nears, John Jones finds himself at a crossroads. His retirement, which could have marked a graceful exit from the sport he dominated for so long, now seems overshadowed by yet another legal scandal.
Is it accurate that there's a lot of reports about figures he was offered? Is it fair to say he was offered a lot of money to take this fight?
Yeah. Listen, he was offered what he deserves for that fight. Yeah.
I'll just come out and ask it. Do you think he's ducking Tom Aspinall?
No. John Jones, I said it a million times, I'll say it again. He's never ducked anybody other than that one goofy time with the Chael Sonnen thing. He's never ducked anybody. And, you know, I think the reality is whatever changed his mind with this fight, I don't know, you'd have to ask him that. But, you know, he's 38 years old and I don't know.
Court's decision on July 24th could very well shape how he is remembered, not just as a fighter, but as a public figure who struggled to outrun his own history. And while he claims to be focusing on business and personal growth, the public and legal attention swirling around him makes it clear that the past isn't letting go so easily.
The charades, it's over, so let's go on with Tom Aspinall fighting the next fight, you know, to defend the title that's rightfully his, because Jon Jones, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but he appeared to be not getting what he wanted, and specifically I think is the dates. You know, he'll fight anybody, but he wants when on his time. So I don't think that worked with the UFC's time frame. So I think that they put him in a position where you're either gonna have to fight or you're gonna have to vacate.
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying I know what's going on. I don't. All I know, it should be one of those things where the fighters should not be allowed to hold up the division, and he held up the division for quite a while in Tom Aspinall.
The reaction from around the MMA world came swiftly, particularly from one of Jones's fiercest rivals, Daniel Cormier. Cormier, who has never minced words when it comes to Jones, didn't hold back this time either. He expressed disbelief that Jones retired so quickly and bluntly labeled his decision as quitting. According to Cormier, by walking away from a fight that could have defined his heavyweight legacy, Jones effectively quit on a career that had shaped his entire adult life.
Jon Jones just walked away. Dana White announced it after the UFC Fight Night in Baku, Azerbaijan. Said he is officially retired, and Tom Aspinall is the UFC heavyweight champion. Unbelievable. I didn't think that it was going to happen this fast. I mean, Jones then puts out a statement that said, "Today, I'm officially announcing my retirement from the UFC. The decision comes after a lot of reflection, and I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for the journey I've experienced over the years." And boy, what a journey it has been. But here's the deal, guys, and I'm going to tell you this right now. I said, if Jon Jones doesn't fight this guy, Jon Jones quit. If Jon Jones does not fight Tom Aspinall, he quit. Because he will walk away from something that has defined his entire adult life.
Cormier clarified that his critique wasn't rooted in bitterness or resentment. In fact, he acknowledged Jones's right to a peaceful life with his family, enjoying the fruits of his success. But for him, the fact remained that Jones avoided a challenge, and that alone opened up legitimate questions about his motivations. Whether it was fear or strategy, Cormier said, the result was the same. He didn't step in the cage to face Aspinall.
And honestly, I'm not mad that this young man has a life with his family, and they got money, and they got all these great things. It does not change the fact that by not stepping in that octagon, he quit. He didn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. It's so surprising. Is he scared? No. But by not fighting Aspinall, he opened a conversation. He lets you, every one of you, question why he doesn't fight him. I told you guys, when you are 37, 38, 39, it's much different looking in the mirror than you are at 28, 29 years old, like he was when he was fighting us.
Cormier even suggested that Jones might return if Aspinall suffers a loss, painting a picture where Jones's retirement isn't about stepping away from the sport entirely, but more about avoiding a particular matchup. He speculated that this could all be a strategic move, either on Jones's part or even orchestrated with the UFC. Whatever the reason, Cormier insisted, if legacy matters to Jones, then this decision only complicates it further.
Frustrations with Jon Jones? I don't know what this is. Does it feel like the end completely? I hope it does, because if he cares about his legacy, he doesn't want to be sitting there beating up on guys that may get past Tom Aspinall. They gave him the money. They agreed to everything, and he still just would not do it. I'm going to bed. I'm tired. Like this, my head's spinning. It was crazy.
MMA journalist Ariel Helwani shared a different perspective, calling the entire situation and how it played out an embarrassment. For Helwani, the fact that Jon Jones's legendary career ended not with a blockbuster fight, but with a quiet announcement in a press conference halfway across the world in Azerbaijan was baffling and underwhelming. He believed that both Jones and the UFC mishandled the situation.
The fact that the illustrious career of Jon Jones, the supposed greatest of all time, ends at a post-fight press conference in Baku, Azerbaijan, is a joke, is an absolute joke. I'm sorry, but this is an absolute joke. Tom Aspinall is going to Las Vegas. At the very least, present him the title. At the very least, do something to make it up for this guy who has been sitting there watching his career just waste away for the past 7 months. Oh, by the way, his last fight was almost a year ago, 11 months. Do something. This is the way it happens. This is the way it happens. Something that could have happened at the post-fight press conference in New York. Jon Jones never wanted to take this fight.
And there you have it. Jon Jones once again finds himself at the center of controversy, with his legacy hanging in the balance. As the court date approaches and the truth unravels, one question remains. Is this the final chapter in the story of the UFC's most complicated legend, or just another twist in a never-ending saga? Hit that like button, subscribe for the latest updates, and let us know in the comments. Is Jon Jones still the GOAT, or has the chaos outside the cage finally caught up with him? Stay tuned, because this story is far from over.